Coming in from out in the cold on a January afternoon, taking our Tuesday test drive today at Acura of Milford on the Post Road. We're going to be taking out the 2015 Acura RDX. John Powers is diligently working, and we're coming to say hello once again. John, good to see you.
Welcome again, Dan.
How's everything?
Everything's fantastic.
Yeah, I hope you had a happy New Year.
Very much so, yes.
Great. Yeah. We're ready to take out the 2015 RDX.
Yep.
It's a tech package
Yes.
with all-wheel drive.
Correct.
You know, we've had a pretty easy winter so far, but we've had a couple of those days where we've actually had a storm, and that all-wheel drive is certainly going to come in handy, isn't it?
Yeah, we've escaped a few, near misses, but let's say the odds of probability statistics are going to catch up with us.
Absolutely. What color is the car we're driving?
We're going to drive a white one. Actually, this time we decided to take one of our manager's demos, and sometimes we accessorize the car a little differently.
Yeah.
And this particular one happens to have running boards on it, and these running boards sometimes people put them on just for looks because the car is not tall enough to need running boards.
Sure.
Especially in the front the doors. You just basically walk into the vehicle. But when you are loading a roof rack, if you do decide to put a roof rack on,
great,
it's very easy to step
up. And I'm sure if it's a demo, it's pretty much loaded.
Yeah, pretty much so. I mean, it's just the top build for RDX. All-wheel drive. You make a decision: front-wheel drive, all-wheel drive. Front-wheel drive cars. Maybe people down in Georgia, down in Florida, they don't really need the all-wheel drive. However, the front-wheel drive is really just only 1 mile difference in miles per gallon.
And it's going to get you where you're going.
Wherever you need.
Is it out front?
Right out front, yeah.
Let's go. We're ready to look at the 2015 RDX from Acura of Milford. It's all-wheel drive tech package, so let's take a look at the outside.
Well, right from the front, Dan, you can tell it's a tech package because it has the fog lights built in right now. If the car was the first level, it would not have the fog lights. Secondly, these are HID headlights, high-intensity discharge. First-generation cars usually had the halogen headlights, which were adequate, but now the HIDs just so much clearer. You can really see what you need to see. You've got 18-inch wheels, so you've got really terrific ground clearance. A lot of people, especially when they're talking about all-wheel drive, you can't ignore that ground clearance issue. These are those running boards I was telling you about.
So that's good for getting up if you're going to load.
That's correct. I mean, the car's, yeah.
For just getting into the car.
And basically, if you just touch the handle with the key in your pocket, the car's going to unlock. I think this car has taken over, if not 50% of our sales, some months 60% of our sales, because again, it just fits a lot of people's needs. It's like a chameleon. You need a sedan? Well, it's a little higher up than a sedan. Sure. You need an SUV? Well, it's a little lower down than an SUV. So the true crossover is where it really fits in. And the utility of the vehicle back in here, especially those empty nesters who are no longer taking the kids to college and they don't need that really super extra space, you've got plenty of room back in here. And if it's something really quick, you need to knock the seats down, you move this piece of furniture, basically just pull one of these levers right here and everything will just fall forward.
Just going to close.
Get the power button right there.
Power button closes the door.
That's part of the tech package as well. So a lot of people find out about that, they love it.
What about the miles per gallon?
This car is rated at 27 miles on the highway and 19 in the city.
Nice. That's pretty good.
We got memory seating too, Dan, so if there's two people driving the car, you don't have to be fumbling for any of your controls, whether it be your radio presets, your seats, your mirrors. Everything is going to be personalized to that person.
This has got the tech package. We've already seen what's going on the outside of the car, and it's also all-wheel drive. So let's start exploring the dashboard.
Okay, right up in the center right here is your navigation screen, and it's tucked back a little bit over this hood, so it's very useful to have that, not to have the sun glare, because it's the worst thing. You're driving, you can't even see your navigation. So they set that up quite nicely. It's up near the line of sight too, so you don't have to look down further. But everything is kind of compartmentalized. So like down in here is your air conditioning, your navigation controls are in the center area, and then your radio controls are right there. So keep in mind that with the tech package, not only do you just have the navigation, but you can control the entire car by voice. With the tech package, you also have 3 months of the real-time traffic, real-time weather, and Doppler radar. Okay, so Dan, the car has these shocks that basically adapt to what's going on around it. So they're called amplitude reactive. In different situations, we have some body roll. You're going to minimize that body roll. Also, you got some uneven surfaces, potholes, and what have you, and that's responsible for the lighter weight springs within the suspension. and they eat up those little imperfections. So you don't really do anything. The car knows what it needs to do, and it does it for you. Okay, the cylinder management system we have goes from 6 cylinders to 4 cylinders, and then from 4 cylinders to 3 cylinders. This primarily clicks in when you're on, let's say, that highway speed, maybe you're in the cruise control mode. There's no reason to be burning 4 or 6 cylinders when you're doing that. The cylinders still move, but they don't get fed fuel, so you're getting that better fuel economy.
Got it.
And you've got a 6-speed transmission with paddle shifters. So coming around this turn right here, if I wanted to, I could start downshifting on the fly. Or I just went down to 3rd gear without touching my brake. If in fact that was a sheet of ice I was on, best brakes in the world are not going to help me in that situation, but this is my safety net. And I've taught a lot of people how to use these paddle shifters, and they swear by them.
And now, John, when you go to the paddle shifters, does it ever go back to automatic, or how do you switch it back?
I don't need to switch it back. If I'm in the regular drive mode, then basically as soon as I touch my gas pedal, or as soon as I start to accelerate, the car knows I'm finished downshifting. So it's going to go right to the gear it should be in. The thing is, the safety feature that it is going to do is if you are starting to use the downshift mode, it's not going to shift the car to a gear it shouldn't go to safely. And another nice thing I really like too is some cars have a special mode for let's say snow, and what you could do is you could create your own mode right here, because if you're sitting in 3 or 4 or 5 inches of snow and you're at a traffic light, the best way to handle that from a standing position is just basically click the paddle shifter, the positive, once. What that's going to do is going to start the car in 2nd gear, and in 2nd gear, Dan, you have less torque on the wheels, so then the wheels won't spin needlessly.
So, you know, the thing about buying a car like this, and we say the tech package, it sounds like there's so much to learn and so much to know about the car. All the controls, finding the nav system, the radio, you know, making sure you know how to do your automatic comfort controls, the heated seats, the paddle shifters, everything that's on that steering wheel, all the voice commands. It can be overwhelming to somebody. What I notice about you is that you understand it all and you're willing to explain it. So when someone drives away, they're going to understand how to use those paddle shifters, they're going to know where everything is. That's really important, because you can get stuck inside a car and not know what all these features do.
Dan, you don't know how many times I meet someone just having service for the day, and they may have purchased their vehicle at a dealership down south, they just relocated, or they're cutting through the area and they're having an oil change, and we talk about things and they said, "What do you mean? You're talking about my car?" And
no idea
they had no idea the car would do that.
That's a
it's just a shame. It's a shame, because what happens is sometimes people don't spend the time with people to show them what you can physically do with this car.
There's so much that could be done technically with this car that if no one took the time, you're probably going to get in the car, put it in, drive, and go.
Yeah, creatures of habit.
Miss out.
That's right. We're going to do what we normally do. So what I do, first of all, after the car gets delivered, about a day to 2 days later, give the client a call and says, "Everything going okay? Maybe you forgot to ask me a couple of questions on delivery." So let's get those answered.
Talk about the Lawrenson difference. I know we talk about that all the time, but let's just make sure everybody understands.
Sure. I mean, the manufacturers, they have 247 dealers throughout the country, so basically we're one of those 247 dealers. But where the factory stops and where we pick up are things like when it comes to warranty. Now, sometimes people do only 10,000 miles a year, but sometimes people do 20,000 mile leases. So at the end of their lease, they're going to have 60,000 miles in their car. This car's got a 4-year, 50,000 mile bumper-to-bumper warranty. And that's basically soup to nuts. Everything is covered for that. You have your roadside assistance will cover you as well. What we're going to do is going to up that ante another 9,000 miles. So instead of just a 4-year 50, we're going 4 years, 9 months, or 59,000 miles. I've had some manufacturers, vehicles sitting in their driveway because the clients are afraid to drive them past the warranty because they're scared to death if they're going to have to pay for some kind of problem that goes wrong. Sure. So we want to take out some of that little nervousness. Mm-hmm. So that's where and we also extended either 4 months or 9 months or 9,000 miles, which either comes first for that. Your powertrain is 6 years, 70,000 miles. Most people are fine with that. They're not going to do that in the first few years. We want to see this car back here in 6 months. So what we do is we include the first service. We have loaner cars available. So if someone is going to have a service and they just basically give us a call ahead of time, we'll have one reserved for them the night before their visit. If they forgot to give us a call and they just show up, our shuttle van will take you where you need to go. And you need to go to New Haven, you need to go to Trumbull, you need to go to Fairfield, you need to go to Shelton. You know, it's not a problem. And then as soon as your car is ready, we'll give you a call and we'll go pick you up. The shop is open till 7 o'clock Monday through Thursday. They're open till 6 o'clock Friday and Saturday. Sales force is here till 8 o'clock Monday through Thursday, and till 6 on Friday and Saturday as well.
So that's our Tuesday test drive, and our featured dealer of the week, Acura of Milford. They're exit 39B off 95. Come on up the road until you see the Acura symbol, and then pull on in and come in until you see John Powers. Now, you've only seen the back of his head. John, show everybody what you look like. He's such a good-looking guy. And we come in and see John, and he'll set you up with the Acura RDX or any of the other models that they have here. Plenty in stock and unbelievable deals. And find out what the Lawrence difference is at Acura of Milford, our featured dealer of the week at WEBE108.com. Thanks for coming.